Welcome to Deep Dive Truth, where we explore the darkest corners of human psychology and true crime. In today's episode, we delve into one of the most disturbing criminal cases in modern American history, the case of Jeffrey Dahmer. Known by the media as the Milwaukee Monster, Dahmer's crimes involved a chilling pattern of manipulation, control, and unspeakable acts that shocked the nation and left a lasting scar on the American conscience. In this episode, we will walk you through Dahmer's early life, the evolution of his criminal behavior, detailed accounts of his victims, the investigation that led to his arrest, his trial and imprisonment, and finally, the broader implications of his actions. This episode is intended for mature audiences, and we have carefully chosen our language to respect platform guidelines while maintaining the gravity of the subject matter. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born on May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. From an early age, his behavior raised concerns. As a child, he was described as quiet and withdrawn, with a growing fascination for animals and their anatomy. His father, Lionel Dahmer, was a chemist and often conducted experiments at home, which may have sparked Jeffrey's interest in biological processes. During his teenage years, Dahmer began to exhibit troubling signs. He became increasingly isolated and showed an obsessive interest in dead animals. He reportedly collected roadkill and dissected the remains in the woods near his home. His fascination with control and death began to take root during this period. Dahmer's alcohol use also began in high school. He started drinking heavily, often hiding bottles of liquor in his locker. Though he graduated, his academic performance suffered and he became even more withdrawn. In 1978, just after graduating from high school, Dahmer committed his first murder. He picked up an 18-year-old hitchhiker named Stephen Hicks. After bringing him home under the pretense of drinking and hanging out, Dahmer killed Hicks when he attempted to leave. The body was later dismembered and the remains were hidden near the family property. Following this murder, Dahmer entered a period of relative dormancy. He enrolled in college but dropped out, then enlisted in the army where his alcohol abuse worsened. He was eventually discharged due to his behavior. After bouncing between various living situations and jobs, he ended up in Milwaukee, where his criminal activities escalated significantly. From 1987 to 1991, Dahmer engaged in a pattern of luring young men to his apartment, where he would offer them money in exchange for posing for photographs. Once there, he would incapacitate them using sedatives. After rendering his victims unconscious, he committed a series of heinous acts that included fatal harm, physical dismemberment, and the preservation of body parts. He frequently kept skulls, bones, and other remains in his apartment, which he arranged in what he called a shrine. Some accounts describe how he attempted to create zombie-like states in his victims by injecting substances into their brains. These actions stemmed from a deep-rooted desire to have complete and lasting control over another human being. Dahmer lived in the Oxford Apartments in Milwaukee, and neighbors often complained about strange smells and noises. Despite multiple interactions with police, including one particularly infamous incident where they returned a disoriented young boy to Dahmer's custody, his crimes continued unchecked for years. Dahmer murdered a total of 17 men and boys between 1978 and 1991. Most of his victims were people of color and members of the LGBTQ+ community. This pattern raised significant concerns about systemic issues within law enforcement, particularly around the seriousness with which missing persons cases were handled. Each victim had a unique story, dreams, and families who still mourn them. Among them were Anthony Sears, a model and aspiring professional. Conorak Synthesumphone, just 14 years old, whose death highlighted deep flaws in the justice system. Errol Lindsay, a man who became the subject of one of Dahmer's most disturbing experiments. Their stories deserve to be remembered with respect and dignity. It is essential to humanize the victims as their lives were not defined by how they ended, but by the people they were. Dahmer's crimes came to light on July 22, 1991, when Tracy Edwards escaped from his apartment and flagged down two police officers. Edwards led them back to Dahmer's apartment, where they discovered photographs of dismembered bodies and various remains, including preserved skulls. The search of the apartment revealed a deeply disturbing scene. Human remains were found in the refrigerator, freezer, and even in a large container filled with chemicals. These discoveries confirmed that the scale of Dahmer's crimes was far worse than anyone had imagined. During the interrogation, Dahmer was cooperative and detailed in his confessions. He expressed a sense of remorse but also a chilling detachment from the gravity of his actions. His confessions spanned hundreds of pages and shocked even the most seasoned detectives. Jeffrey Dahmer was charged with 15 counts of murder and pled guilty but insane. The trial began in January 1992 and drew widespread media attention. His defense team argued that he suffered from severe mental illness, while the prosecution insisted that he was fully aware of his actions and their consequences. After a 2-week trial, the jury found Dahmer legally sane and convicted him of all charges. He was sentenced to 15 consecutive life terms, amounting to 957 years in prison. He was incarcerated at the Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage, Wisconsin. In prison, Dahmer was reportedly a model inmate, though his notoriety made him a target. He expressed a desire to seek religious redemption and was baptized in 1994. However, his life behind bars was short-lived. On November 28, 1994, Dahmer was attacked by a fellow inmate named Christopher Scarver while performing cleaning duties. He sustained fatal injuries and was pronounced dead shortly after. Scarver later stated that he believed he was acting on divine orders. Dahmer's death brought an abrupt end to a case that had gripped and horrified the public. The Jeffrey Dahmer case left a profound impact on American society and law enforcement. It sparked conversations about mental health, police negligence, and the vulnerability of marginalized communities. Many criticized the Milwaukee Police Department for missing multiple opportunities to stop Dahmer. The case also led to calls for better communication between police departments and communities, especially those disproportionately affected by crime. Numerous books, documentaries, and dramatizations have been made about Dahmer's life and crimes. While these works contribute to public understanding, they also raise ethical questions about the sensationalism of real-life tragedy. Jeffrey Dahmer's crimes represent one of the darkest chapters in American criminal history. His story is not just about the acts he committed, but about the victims whose lives were cut short and the societal failures that allowed those acts to continue unchecked. At Deep Dive Truth, our mission is to uncover these stories with care, depth, and responsibility. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. We encourage you to honor the memories of the victims and reflect on the importance of empathy, awareness, and justice. Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.
If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into more cases like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like the video if you found the story compelling, and share it with your friends and family who might be interested in true crime and mysteries. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with all our latest content and join a growing community of curious minds exploring the most fascinating cases. Click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything.